So there may have been some election tampering after all, but not quite the way you know who is trying to sell it. Here's what Georgia's Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger claims Senator Lindsey Graham was up to. Take a look.
He asked if the ballots could be matched back to the voters, and then I got the sense it implied that then you could throw those out. And he really would look at the counties with the highest frequent error of signatures. So that's the impression that I got. Well, it's just an implication that look hard and see how many ballots you could throw out.
I think that's just ridiculous. If he feels threatened by that conversation, he's got a problem. I actually thought it was a good conversation. No, I never said that. I said, do you have power as Secretary of State to require bipartisan verification of the signature? Because right now they don't.
Well, and apparently, you know, Lindsey Graham said, no, the president never said anything to me. But apparently, the day that Lindsey Graham called Brad Raffensperger, the president tweeted, Georgia's Secretary of State, so-called Republican, won't let people check in ballots, see the signatures for fraud. Without this whole process, it's very unfair and close to meaningless. Everyone knows that we won the state. Now, I'll ask you, Joy, is this just theater to keep us from paying attention to what's real? What is going on here?
You know, it's unbelievable. I don't even understand why he would be motivated to do that. It was after Election Day. Everyone knows that Georgia's close, but it's going to go to Biden. This number of votes that he was talking about would not change that. So what can we deduce from this? Lindsey Graham, Trump has something on him, some leverage, because he's constantly talking about, you know, trying to help Trump. I do believe that Trump probably told him to do it because it serves his ego to hear, oh, he didn't get that many votes. He got this many votes. So, you know, and also maybe Lindsey wants to be in the election of 2024 and have his head on Mount Rushmore also. I mean, I don't know what he's up to, well, Lindsey, but boy, if someone has fallen from grace harder than him, I really don't know who that person is.
Well, do you think this is a he said, she said, or is this a possible case against Lindsey Graham? I mean, what do you think happened? Did he just misunderstand it? Sonny?
I don't think so. I mean, and the thing is, they're both Republicans, right? And I mean, they're both supposed to be on the same side. I don't know why Raffensperger would make it up. And the thing that is really disconcerting is, think about it. I mean, Lindsey Graham is the chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee. He's a lawyer. He knows better. He knows better. And so, you know, if what is alleged is true, that's a crime. And I think it has to be investigated. I think it has to be investigated by the Senate Ethics Committee. And if this is found to be true, I don't think he should be the chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee. He would have committed a crime.
Right. And Sarah, what do you think about all of this? What do you think this is going? What do you think is happening here?
Well, I did not need more reasons to not like Lindsey Graham. And then today happened. No, joking aside, I think that unlike Joy, who said that she thinks Trump was behind this, I think what's happening here is there are so many Republicans that jumped on this false bandwagon, and the math isn't adding up. But now they're trying to save a little face by saying, you know, no, these recounts were necessary because we found stuff. And genuinely, you shouldn't want to find stuff, because it is one thing to say it's fair and within our legal rights to do recounts and everything, and I can get on board with that because I would want the same if the sides were flipped. But you shouldn't want to find bad things, because that reflects on the whole democracy. And the other thing is, by these Republicans going after the voting systems, they could be shooting themselves in the foot for these runoff elections that the Senate sends is hanging in the balance right now, and that runoff election is going to happen on those same machines. So by talking about this and saying there's a problem, you could kind of be getting yourself into trouble. But lastly, this man Raffensperger is dealing with death threats to his family. Fauci is running around with security guards. people have to elevate themselves. Like, this is below our humanity that people would threaten people that are doing their jobs. And these are hard jobs that I wouldn't want. Raffensperger himself said, you know, people need to elevate their speech, particularly when it comes from people on my side of the aisle. Everyone that is working on this needs to elevate their speech. We need to be thoughtful and careful about what we say, and I agree.
Right. Well, I have to tell you, I am shocked by the fact that the Republicans would be foolish enough to basically say to all the poll workers who volunteered to be part of this process that you are liars and cheats. They are basically saying that the people who did all this work came out for nothing, didn't come for pay, who came out to help do this are liars and cheats. The other thing I want to point out is, you know, when Stacey Abrams lost her bid for governor, and she said there had been shenanigans going on, I don't recall one Republican saying, oh my goodness, let's take a look. Because Democrats had complained that, you know, rejected absentee ballots and suspended voter registrations led to wide disenfranchisement. Nobody said a word. Nobody said boo.
No one.
So now I expect that the people in Georgia will look at those Republicans who are questioning their commitment to making fair elections in their state. I would say to y'all, these are the people who say they want to represent you. The same people who are calling you liars and cheats are saying we want to represent your best interest. Do they really?
But, you know,
do they really want to do that?
Bottom line.
Go ahead, Joy.
No, bottom line, Whoopi, is that the Republican Party knows that the only way that they can win is by cheating. So they know that. And Lindsey Graham has admitted that himself. He says mail-in voting will be the end of the Republican Party. So they have to do something. And they'll do whatever they have to do. They'll do whatever they have to do to win. And the Democrats have to keep after them. And also, doesn't this have something to do with Georgia in the runoffs? Somewhere there's some way that he's going to put a poll, right?
Yes.
Is that what you were going to say, Sonny? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. To Sarah's point, she was like, you know, why do this? I think this has something to do with the runoff election, because we know that the balance of the Senate the Senate hangs in the balance. And so my sense is try to find these alleged voting irregularities so that when there possibly is a close race or perhaps, you know, the Democratic senators win, they can now do these shenanigans over and over and over again. So I suspect this could be just a dry run, right? Because when you're going to commit a crime, a lot of people, they have these dry runs, right?
But don't you think it's really a dumb criminal who comes and says, hey, your baby is ugly, to the woman who's the host of the party. The criminal comes and says, your baby's ugly, your house smells, I don't like your carpets, and then they leave. And why would she ever invite you back in? Why would you?
I don't think that Lindsey Graham ever. I don't think that Lindsey Graham ever thought that Raffensperger would say something. I don't think Lindsey Graham ever thought that Raffensperger would divulge. Would divulge the internal conversation.
And the last question before we go, Lindsey Graham's not from Georgia. What does he care what's going on? Why is he involved in this? He's not from there. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. I'm just saying.
He wants to maintain power.
Yeah.
In the Senate.
Well, we'll see, you know. Georgia will decide what's going on.